Yo, what is up? It is me, your boy, Flash Jones, back again with another video. And as you guys can see here in the opening shot, we got the Walthers CornerStone tank car oil loading platform. And this is the build series of this model, of this kit. And that's what we're doing today. Real quick, I'm going to point something out. This is the first one that I did, and I was recording it at first, and then I decided to stop because there were some spots in the instructions that kind of tripped me up a little bit, and I had to talk to Walthers about some things, and I decided to just film the second one in full, and so that I have a little bit better understanding on certain parts of it that tripped me up at least. So that being said, let's jump right on into it. So got the kit box. You guys seen that in my goodies video. We're not going to do anything else about that. Got ye olde instruction manual, one page, front and back. Put that to the side for a second. And then you got the essentials, what you're going to need to make the model, obviously. So got that. Warranty card. Some decals. And a little piece of paper. So that's all you get in the box. We're going to now continue on with the build and get this thing underway. So obviously, since I already did one of these, first thing I'm gonna let you guys know is that when you're doing any type of kit, some of the things that you should always do is read the instructions, all the history, maybe not all the history, but you should read your instructions front to back, beginning to end, left to right, however you're going to read it, but read it all so that you have a good grasp and a good understanding of what you're doing and what you're getting yourself into, front and back. Go through it all, read it. I would say even download the manual from Walthers' website before you even buy it so that you can really understand and see what you're getting yourself into. It's one page, but it's got a good amount of stuff going on with it. It's not huge, but like I said, it's got a good amount of stuff going on with it. So, some of the things that you should use and should need, obviously, you're going to need glue. I'm using this glue here. Got it from Home Depot, like $5 or something like that. I use my little track snippers to cut things out of the sprue. I like these. I always keep a highlighter on me and a pen, my trusty purple pen. I love it. So instead of using this one, actually I might use that one still. I'm just going to show you a few things. When you get this, I recommend if you're going to be building more than one, if you're going to use 2, 3, or 4, any more than one, make sure you understand and you read this paragraph, this first paragraph on instructions. It says, before starting construction of this kit, decide whether if you're going to make one platform or join 2 or more together. If you're going to join 2 kits together, leave out parts 15, 6, and 7 in the following sequence. And there you go. 15, 6, and 7. Okay? I highlighted them and X'd them out. And so I would not think to do those steps. And I also wrote, in case I ever, had some sort of head injury, wrote, do not do these steps with a little frowny face. Okay? That's just what I do. Okay? So I recommend you guys do that. I'm probably going to use this one. Actually, I lied. I'm going to use this one. I'm just going to re-highlight it up so it's a fresh sheet. No glue marks on it like the other one and everything. And then we're going to keep on going. So hold on. And there you go. Re-highlighted. Fresh. Let's do it. Alright, so per the instructions, the second paragraph says to cut out, to cut out the bases, which are these little pieces here. That is part number 3 to the uprights number 2. So now we're going to glue these pieces together, and then I'll show you that. Now, this is the finished product of the gluing of those 2 pieces together. It just forms a little base. Now, the second part of this paragraph says to glue parts 15 to 13, or glue parts, 15 to 13 and to 14. Now, you're not going to do that at this juncture. Right now, you're not. You're going to come back to this. So on the diagram, you can see where you're gluing it to 14, these end pieces to 14 and to 13. You're going to do it for one of them, but you're not going to do it for both of them. and you're going to find out why. If you're gluing two together, they connect a different way, and we'll show that at the end. But in the end, obviously, as you guys can see here on this one, it's only going to connect on one side. So to say this is the other platform, it's only going to connect on one side. So the other end, as you guys can see there, which is open, you will end up putting that piece down on there. So like I said, you're going to come back to that. You're just not going to do it now. Now, there's next portion in the instructions. It says to glue 16, 17, and 18 to parts 14 and parts 13. One piece of advice: go one at a time. Don't cut these three pieces out because they're right next to each other. Don't cut these three pieces out at one time because you're going to mix them up. If you guys can see there, you see that these little notches coming out of the pipes, so to say, they're placed very strategically to line up with this the three pipes on the bottom, so that they line up correctly when you get further down the road in the instructions in the bill. So I would advise you guys to go one at a time. Go 16, then go 17, then go 18 by cutting them out. Don't just cut them all out because you're going to need them. No, do one at a time or you will get confused. I almost did that in the first one, but I was able to figure out which one was which. So I'm going to advise you of that now, because if not, and you just glue them together, you're going to be messed up somewhere. All right, stand by. Okay, guys. So before I get too far into this, one thing I want to show you guys, make sure you guys do you see how, let me get a little pointer, exactly how this diagram is. They don't say it in the instructions, but the diagram is here. So Walthers, so to say, they cover their ass. You see how this diagram is, how for part 14, it's connected, so to say, this centerpiece and the end piece is connected on one end, and then you have the three holes. Part 14 is completely different from part 13. Okay? So you have two spacers, if you will, then three holes. It's the complete opposite on the other end. You have a spacer, three holes, then another spacer. Okay? Or support beam, whatever you want to call it. So you need to pay attention to how they have it so that you have them lined up correctly. I'll show you. This is just part 16. This is the part number 13. So you see you have a spacer here, the three holes, then another spacer, then it's open. Okay? On part 14, or piece number 14, you have two spacers or support beams, then it's open. Or I'm sorry, two support beams, the three holes, then it's open. So you need to pay attention to how they have it so that you don't reverse this process and have the part number 16 on part number 18. I don't really think it'll make a difference as far as the end result being that if they still line up correctly, as long as you do it, so to say, right. But if you're going to go per the instructions, make sure you pay attention. And guys, there you have it. Parts 16, 17, and 18. If it'll focus, there you go. Parts 16, 17, and 18, done. So you see, that's what it'll look like if you have it lined up correctly. Look like it's one continuous piece. Obviously, there are two behind it. But if you do it right, it looks like it's just one bar there instead of two, or instead of three. And that's how it's supposed to be. Alright, so where we're at now is gluing the 6 pipes to the 3 uprights. Okay? Reason I'm stopping here is I want to show you guys something. As you can see on the bottom 3, these 3 pipes that come out, pipes right here, they unless you're going to glue them on once you get this established, once you start gluing these pieces together, they can't slide in and out of here. So what you're going to have to do when you get to this portion is, what I did at least, is I glued this one on first. I glued this, the top piece number 13. I glued that to one of the uprights first. Okay? And then as I was getting ready to glue on the second one, I slid this, the bottom portion, or what is this number? Number 14. I slid this one in here so that right now, like you see, it's just floating freely. And I went on and glued the second upright to the three long pipes, part number 13. So now all I have to do is glue this part number 14 on like so. And we're going to leave this part open on the end, as you know, as I already explained. So that's one little piece that I would advise that you follow, because if not, you're not going to be able to get the pipes of number 14 in here. You won't be able to get it in there because these three pipes that come out of it, they come out and they pass the stanchion. They're too wide. So you're going to have to do it this way. If not, you're never going to get it in. And there you have it, guys. All three of the stanchions are uprights glued in, and all 6 pipes glued in as well. It was a little tricky, but we got it. And as you guys remember, as I already explained, one part will be open, one part will not be. Okay, there you go. All right, now per the instructions, as we let that dry, we move on to this bottom portion where we assemble pretty much the platform. Okay, so you're going to cut out piece number 1, and these are the pieces. One thing I want to point out real quick, these parts number 24, they are supposed to move up and down. So you cannot let any glue, you see this little divot right in here? Of course it's not going to focus, is it? So you see how it kind of dips, sorry about that. See how it kind of dips in right in here? Same thing on the other side. So when you glue this, you want to make sure that no glue gets in there. Tricky thing is, you're going to have to somehow hold this in there as you are assembling this piece together to part number 1. If not, you will not be able to force this piece in here after the sideways are glued on. So I actually messed up on them before, so these 2 pieces on the other platform are glued in permanently. They're not glued in permanently. They kind of move down, but they're not stable. If I pull them down, they might pop out, so I may have to glue it in. But somehow this is supposed to be able to move back and forth freely to allow to allow workers to load up the tankers and whatnot. And this is the little platform that they walk out on. So yeah, so I'm going to glue this together, and then I'm going to show you guys what that looks like. Alright guys, so I got the platform assembled. Okay, now as I was saying before, if you do it right, you'll be able to get it so that you can fold the walkways down. Okay, same thing here. The guys would walk out, move the little lever, fill the tank up, walk back, raise it back up, go home. You know. So I want to make sure you do that right, and then the next step is to then glue this to the uprights. Okay, and they don't directly say how to do it in the instructions, but looking at the instructions, if you look at the diagram, you see that the platform piece is directly over these pipes that come vertical. Okay, so you need to watch and make sure you do it correctly, because it doesn't say it in the directions over here. At least I don't think so. Yeah, no, I don't think it says it. So I'm going to do that now, and then I'm going to show you that. All right, now got that glued on together now. Per the instructions, you're supposed to glue pretty much the walkway onto the platform on there. It doesn't say it in the instructions, but I would recommend that you wait to the end to do this part so that you glue them together. Sorry about that. So that you glue it together correctly. Meaning, you're gluing 2 of these together. However, you're going to put them together, you're going to have to make sure that 2 ends are open so that you can put them together. If you put the walkway on there, you're only going to have one option. You're going to be limited to one side is what I'm getting at. So if I were you, I would wait until I was pretty much 100% done to glue on the walkways on both sides, so that you would have, so that you would know, or you'd have as many options as you possibly could. Okay, so next we're going to glue on this top piece, and I believe that's, excuse me, like a little bell. I'm not sure. It doesn't say exactly what it is. It just says next glue together. In the instructions is to cut out parts 19 and glue parts 27, 21, and 22 to them, and then you take those that set and glue it to the pipes. Let me focus on that. And then you glue it to the pipes right here. This is what this piece is going to look like finished and assembled. These little circle pieces, you cut them out from the sprue and you glue them to the bottom of these pipes here. And then you take the fueling valve, I guess you can call it, and you slide it over the top of it. Now, when you cut this from the sprue, it's not together like this. It's two parts. It's half, and you have to glue the other half to it. And the whole idea is to have it swivel and be able to move around, so that when you are on the layout, you can have it more prototypical, whereas you can literally bring this valve over the top of the tank car and fuel it, get done, and move it out of the way. That's the whole idea behind it. Do it if you want to, you don't have to, but that's the whole idea of it. And I didn't feel like showing every single step of that. It's pretty self-explanatory. Cut them out, glue them, cut this piece out, cut the other half to it, as you may be able to see the half there. You see how it's glued together right there. Okay, you got to glue them together and then let it dry and then connect it so that it moves freely. If you just glue it on there and then hold it together, it's just going to glue on it, obviously, and it'll be stuck forever. Because this Gorilla Glue, you don't get too many second chances. So, I'll show you. Well, actually, I already got one gluing on here now, so I'll show you that. That's what it's kind of going to look like. Now, this is one that I actually messed up on. I actually glued it together, and I didn't read the instructions 100% properly. But that's what it's going to look like pretty much on layout. It's going to be sitting there. Your tank is going to come up. You're going to put the valve under there. It's going to fill up, and you move it out of the way. But this one doesn't move. But you get the point. So, I'll show you when I finish it all up, and then that'll be it. All right, stand by. All right, so as you guys can see here, I got the first one that I did pretty much complete. I'm just letting the glue dry up on the other side, so I'm not going to mess with that side, but that's what it's going to look like for the most part. You swing them out, load it up, push it back, and then you're done, if you're going to do it that way. So one thing that I've just noticed is that if you follow the instructions, okay, and you add this piece here to 14, you won't be able to connect them the way that you think you could still connect it, but you'd have this little gap here in the center. Now, this is a model. It doesn't really matter. But if you're that guy that's very picky and you want it to be 100% prototypical, you're not going to like this. So what I would advise you do is to leave this part out. Do not glue this part on to the three beams, the three pipes that are part number 13. Don't do that part. Wait until the very end, because what I guess the main idea of it is that you see how one end protrudes and one end doesn't. The whole idea of it, and I'm gonna have to flip this one over, is that one end protrudes and the other one doesn't, and they meet up sort of like that. Now, they may not still touch, but at least the platforms are flush with each other. You guys see the little gaps in between there? Yeah. You really wouldn't really ever see that unless you're doing a drive-by, a run-by with the camera, and you get right up on it. You would see it then, but the whole idea is that the platforms are butting up right next to each other. So I would advise you guys to wait to glue this last portion on, so that you don't have this problem. But now that I've made this, now that I've done this, at least, what I'm thinking I might do is have them separated, and I'm gonna have to sort of create my own little rig to connect these pipes together, just to have it be a little bit longer instead of having three. I'll still have two, but I'll just create some sort of pipes in the middle here to connect them. But I might do it that way just so I can have a bigger scene. But so what I'm going to do next is probably on this end at the stairway that runs up, and then add the guardrail on this end, and then this one will be done, and then it's just the same exact thing for this one. Probably guardrail here, and the stairs that run up on this side, and then that'll be it. So I'll finish this up. I may show you guys what I do. I might not. What I might end up doing is just finishing this up and then showing you guys on Instagram for those who follow me. And you guys will just get those updates on Instagram. But for the most part, this is the finished product just with the stairway. So I'll show you guys on Instagram for those who follow me. You guys will see it. And one last thing I just want to point out is they don't say it in the instructions yet again, but you see these pipes here, these 3 pipes on the side. You see how they kind of come off to the side here, right? On the side of the overall platform. Sorry, see that there? What they don't tell you is to make sure that it's pretty much centered in a sense that it lines up on both sides. Looking at the top one here, you see it doesn't really come out, but it pokes out on that end. And the bottom 3, they come out, but they don't really come out that much on the other side. So another thing, try to pay attention to it. Try to do it in a way that they'll be somewhat even or equidistant for all you mathematics out there. So that when you go ahead and glue these, I think this is part number, give me a second. Parts 19 and 20. By the way, it doesn't say 19 for these pieces. The only reason why I know it's 19 is because I marked it. The long one is 19, the shorter one is 20. So here's a short one, here's a longer one. This is 19, that's 20. So the whole idea of it is that they line up with these pipes and you glue them onto these pipes here. And I'll show you what it's mostly going to look like if you don't line them up correctly. They're just pretty much going to be floating. So this might be the side that's toward the track, considering there'll always be a tank car. There doesn't even really matter because there'll always be tank cars here. But you get the idea. It's supposed to be that way, and then these, they just swing out. I don't want to mess with them too much. I still got glue dry in there. But that's the idea of it. So that's it for this, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this build. Not tricky, really. You just got to kind of, like I said, just read the directions and try to figure out the gray areas that they don't specifically tell you about. Because on the first one, as you guys saw, there were some spots that I got tricked on, and even here I noticed is on the second platform that you got to have them equidistant or they'll just not line up correctly. So take what I have showed you, my mistakes, what I've learned, all the things that I would have advised you on. Take that into consideration when you're doing it, so that you give yourself the best chance to have a equidistant model, a model that's lined up properly, and a model that looks good. With that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed it. It wasn't too long, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'll catch you guys in the next video, man. Run trains, be safe, have fun, be safe. Happy Sunday, y'all. Happy Sunday. Be safe. This is your boy Flash Jones. I'm out. Deuces. Yo, what is up, guys? Doing this little quick video at the end of the entire thing, just to show you guys a very finished product, what it looks like, and I'm going to explain what I did here in a second. Alright, so in my last portion of the video, before I ended that part off, I told you guys all I had to do was add the platform, add the stairways here, add the guardrails here at the end, and then just get these glued on and whatnot. So I got them glued on, and another thing that I had to do was create some sort of piping or some sort of rig to connect the two platforms, because I kind of messed up, and I'm actually kind of happy that I messed up, and I'm happy that it turns out this way, because with the way that I have it now, it makes my scene look a little bit bigger. It makes it look a little bit longer. It was supposed to be 2 platforms, which equate to about 10 inches. But with this piece in the middle, I get about 17 inches, 17, 18 inches long. So it makes that stretch of track where a tank car is going to be getting loaded and whatnot, it makes it look a little bit bigger. So I guess that's a good thing there, and I'm okay with that. But so I got the stairways glued in and whatnot. They're still drying up now, and I got these in obviously. But the main thing is what I did here. What I did is, you guys see this sprue here? All of your parts come on these sprues. Okay, and as you guys can see, as evident by pieces that are just kind of exposed, because originally it was the same length as this piece here. So what I did was, to give you an example, say I needed another set of pipes, I would have come in and cut this run of pipe here, cut that one out, cut that one out, probably had cut this one out as well. And so what I did is I just cut them out. Luckily these pieces were the outer ones. So looking like at the yellow one, you see how it's the outer one and it's got curve to it. I just cut these out, and then I had some extra little pieces, like you see these pieces near the top, these small little straights and whatnot. What I did was I just took them and glued them to the 3 pipes. I hold it together, and it gives a little bit more detail instead of 3 smooth sets of pipe. So it gives it some more character, some more dimension to it a little bit, instead of being flat and smooth. And then what I did is I just took some red Rust-Oleum spray paint. I think it's gloss candy apple red. And what I did is I just obviously sprayed it red. And then if you see closely, you see these little yellow flakes. Let's see if I can focus on that. See all these yellow flakes, some white in there? So what I did was, as the red was drying, after I sprayed it with the red, I gave it just a couple seconds to start to dry. And then what I did is I took the yellow that I used for the stairway and the loading valves. I took it and I held the spray a good 2 to 3 feet away from the pipes, and I just sprayed it so that it would be a very fine mist. And I did the same thing with the white, the same white that I used to spray paint this whole board, which is just shiny gloss white, Rust-Oleum. And so what I did is I just took it and I just kind of sprayed over it pretty far away to give me like a mist. And what I was going for is just like speckles and, trying to give it more of an aged, somewhat weathered look. I'm not a big fan of weathering, but to give it just more than shiny red pipes, I want to do something just a little bit more. Some spots are shiny red, but for the most part, it gives it a little bit more color. Makes it pop, in my opinion. I don't know, it's not picking up as well on the camera as it really is in real life, but it gives it a little bit of pop. But doing it this way, I get a little more length. Makes my scene look a little bit bigger, and I'm perfectly happy with it. So a few things just to note that you guys need to watch for when you do this build. As I mentioned in the earlier portion about the valves, making sure that you don't glue them while the glue is drying. Another thing is, you can kind of see the left side of this platform is not 100% vertical. You're going to want that to be vertical, because this piece in the middle here, where my thumb is, this one here, connects to them all. And the tops of these pipes, pieces number 19 and 20, they're supposed to go through these top holes. And I doubt it's going to focus when you see it a little bit. It's supposed to go through those holes. And if it's too wide, you're going to have to compensate, and you're not going to get them through the holes. It's not, super important. Just glue it to it and then let it dry, and then they'll still swivel like so. But just want to make sure that you can get them as straight as possible. Another thing is, you won't really notice this one unless you run into the issue. if you're not good enough to get these pipes in the complete center of these uprights, because you see there's space on both ends of it, I would say either push it to one side or push it to the other. Unless, if not, what's going to happen is your pipes, when you go to glue these pipes together right in here, they're not going to be lined up completely on both sides, like as you see here where my index finger is. So either you're going to pay good enough attention to make sure that you got them lined up, or you're going to want to push them to one side and deal with it that way. But that's pretty much it, guys. It was a little tricky here and there. So I mean, obviously my mistakes of showing you guys, they're not set in the directions what you should do, what you can do. It doesn't say beware about this or that. It just says, hey, here you need, this is what you need to know. Do it. But hey, that's the whole point of YouTube and us helping and sharing. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this build. I hope you guys learn from my mistakes and improve upon your models, and I hope you guys have fun with it. Run trains, be safe. Happy 4th. Whenever I get this video out, happy 4th though, and just be safe. If you got firecrackers and fireworks, be safe. Don't lose any fingers. You need them to run your trains, okay? So that being said, this is your boy Flash Jones. I'm out. Be safe, run trains, have fun. Deuces.